Does a ridiculously priced card make for a ridiculously good card? To find out what's going on, as I hereby invite everyone to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So we finally get to talk about the card that everybody's been complaining about lately, Kid Omega. Kid Omega is one of the top students at the Xavier Institute for Higher Learning, having been inspired by the teachings of the professor and his dreams of a human and mutant brotherhood when he was a teenager. He, however, started to change as he became devastated after he learned that he was adopted, and after the death of a renowned fashion designer that was mutant at the hands of humans. He began to doubt the teachings of his mentor and develop a more negative and hostile view towards the world. He grew a hatred for mankind and started to increase his mutant superpowers. Kid Omega started to debate the professor on the merits and teachings of the school. He wondered if Xavier would allow any other dream than his to exist. He was convinced that humanity needed to be tamed, so he assembled a group of others that shared his beliefs about humans, calling them the Omega Gang. They set about attacking both innocent humans and members of mutant harvesting groups alike. All members tattooed themselves with the symbol of the Omega with an X below it, and dressed up in red and black striped shirts, jeans, and whips to represent a lion tamer. Kid Omega then joined the X-Force as a field agent, but after he became fed up with people, he decided to exile himself from society and live in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean while Krakoa took shape on a small desert island nearby. He was one of the first of many countless mutants who joined the mutant-owning nation that was established, and he grew a habit of boasting his superiority as being a Omega level mutant. After the island was destroyed, he was able to activate his powers to construct an entire world within the confines of his own psyche, and there he had all the power. Kid Omega talks faster than he thinks at times, maintaining his rebel streak and nasty habit for vocally trying to start trouble whenever possible. He is always arguing with people, being unfairly annoying to them, as he is a master debater. He is confident, popular, charismatic, decisive, strong-willed, and assertive. He often seeks power and control, and has a strong need to be a champion and warrior, and a desire to find his place within the mutant community. He thinks that might makes right, and therefore has often towed the line between being a hero and a villain. Kid Omega is a mutant possessing advanced cognitive and telepathic abilities that enable him to organize and construct his thoughts at an accelerated rate. He can manipulate the minds of others, resist mind probes, and disable other forms of psychic manipulation cast on him. His level of psychic influence on others depends on how many are around him, being stronger with fewer individuals and weaker with large number of people. He is able to manifest and use psychic shotguns, firearms, and explosives much in the same way that other mutants can manifest swords with their minds. Kid Omega is a telepath, a super genius who became fed up with people after they destroyed his island. So he activated his power to construct an entire world where he had all the power. This is represented in Marvel Snap as he activates his power with destruction, then he gains all the power. So Marvel Snap, what this card does is it is a 2 cost, 1 power, with the description of activate, destroy the next card that you play this turn, and Kid Omega will gain all of the power of that card. So there's no good way of me getting around this point. At this, where Kid Omega is right now, he's a 5-star card. And that kind of is painful with how pricey he is. But I can't lie about how good I think he truly is. Because right now, there's really not any good way to stop the Kid Omega. Now, if you're just looking at him purely as a stat line, he's a Bruce Banner that never goes off, and you're like, oh, who cares? It's a 2-1 that never goes off. But because of the fact that it is an activate, it has very little downsides. Yes, it has the downside that you can't play on the 6. But any turn other than 6, because it is so cheap, it's going to be good. So it's got turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 to really activate itself. And once it's down, there's really nothing you can do about it. Because the only card that really takes it out of commission is the Red Guardian because of the activate ability. The weird thing about Kid Omega is he kind of works how Shuri used to work back in the day before Shuri got nerfed. And this is what makes me think he might get a nerf in the future. Way back when Marvel Snap was first coming out, Shuri had the on-reveal ability that she would double the power of the next card that you played at any location, not just her location. What this is making and doing is creating this kind of weird Nimrod deck that used to exist back in that day, where you would do Shuri, then you'd play Nimrod in a different location, and then you would destroy it. Well, because of the Kid Omega, you can now play the Kid Omega in a different location than Shuri, or even the same location as Shuri, it really doesn't matter. And as soon as you play the Nimrod on the Shuri, you can blow it up, so then you don't have to worry about trying to get the Shuri to get the problem when you blow her up. This also can be used to make a Phoenix Force deck work. And here's the thing about it right now. I don't think that Elixir is the card that you want in this. While it's kind of neat to have the Elixir bring it back, especially if you're going to do something big with the card that you destroy, you would then need to know what turn you're playing after that point. And it's the turn you want to play the Elixir would most likely be 6 at that point. And I'm just not sure if that's where you want to take this. I'm not sure if the Elixir is going to be the strong point in this. But even when you have a card that was basically useless, like Elixir see play because of this card, it's kind of interesting to have that be around. What makes this an unusual card is this is one of the few cards that has an ability that works off of its location. The same way that Forge works, where it'll happen next turn. Kid Omega, it doesn't have to be in the same location. Plus, on the benefit, it doesn't have to be on the next turn. And right now, it is the only destroy card, self-destroy card, I should say, that doesn't need to go into the lane of the thing you want to destroy. So usually when you see a good card, like even for example, you were to see the Deadpool. You see the Deadpool, you can put the armor on it, you know that location's safe. After you play the Kid Omega, you can play even something as simple as Deadpool onto any location and blow it up. So now you don't even know where to stick that armor. It's really weird because there's few self-destroy cards. You're basically looking at like Carnage and Venom and Deathstroke, and all of them require you to be in that lane. which makes me think that maybe in the future they'll require this to be in the lane also. Because right now, what you can do if you really want to make sure that your Kid Omega is safe, you can set up the Cosmo in front of the Kid Omega. Because the activate will still happen. The Cosmo will basically keep the Red Guardian away from doing anything to it. It'll even keep the Shang-Chi away from doing it, because that's the thing, it also gains the power. If Kid Omega just stopped after the part in its wording where it says destroy the next card you play, I think this card still might see play. That alone is a good ability. The fact that you're gaining that power, if you were to go to 2 and look at some of the power spikes on 2, just go to the power spikes on 2 real quick. A good power spike for 2 is 6, maybe 7. You have Kid Omega get something, it's getting that power. So even if you just take a Nimrod by itself, that's a 2/7. That's the same as getting an old school Maximus with basically no downside. And that's just a big, powerful spike. And once it's up, unless your opponent's going to waste a Shang-Chi on it, that just might be enough to win you the lane. That's where you can almost get to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to set up the Cosmo. So you do turn 2 the Kid Omega, you do turn 3 the Cosmo, you do turn 4 the Shuri, turn 5 you could do Red Skull on the Shuri if you wanted to, or you could do the Nimrod on the Shuri and blow up the Shuri. And then once you did that, on turn 6 you could bring back the powered up Nimrod or the powered up Red Skull onto the location where you play the Elixir. Now you get the even if you're to do this with Red Skull, you get the 28 Red Skull back, and you get a 29 Kid Omega that your opponent really can't do anything about. And how is that winnable? Not that you couldn't win it, but that's such a, you gotta guess where they're gonna play the Elixir. You can't do anything about the Kid Omega because they put up the Cosmo, and it just is upsetting how good this card is because of the price, and the fact that I am pretty convinced, to almost totally convinced, that they're going to have to adjust this card. And the only way you could adjust this card is by changing its text. Don't have it gain the power off of the destruction and it would be fine. You could even bring it up to like a 2/4 at that point and you'd be fine with it. Because right now, this could be a 2/0. This could be a 2-1. This could be a 2-5 and it would still basically win you certain games. Because if you're getting the power of a jacked up Red Skull of 28, losing even 5 power off that is not the worst thing in the world. You're still above 20 in a location that your opponent can basically do almost nothing about. So, as much as I don't want to give this a 5-star rating because of the fact that it is a powerful card and it is because it is an expensive card, I should say, I've got to be honest about what I think about how good this card is. To be fair, I'm still not going to buy this card. I'm still not going to grind for this card. I'll get this card once it goes into Series 5 packs in the future. But for right now, I'm not going to spend the gold or grind to get it out. Anyways, I want to thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.